Okay.
Market schools, it's on the college campuses, it is in the workforce, it is in the streets, it's when you go to the store. I mean, like, you can't do anything in peace without this wokeness being shoved down your throat wherever you go. So, do you have a question? Is there something funny?
I do.
Yeah, sure.
How do you define wokeness?
Wokeness is the destruction of normalcy and how do you
You just watched stochastic terrorist Chaya Raichik of Libs of TikTok get laughed at because she couldn't define the thing that she was railing against: wokeness. You know, if wokeness really is as ubiquitous as she says, then in theory she should have no problem describing it since it's everywhere. But she couldn't, and it led to her having a Bethany Mandel moment. Now, if you don't remember who Bethany Mandel is, she is the so-called expert on woke who literally wrote an entire book about it, but still couldn't define it when she was asked to. Let's refresh our memories.
Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean,
Indeed it was. But I'm sure that Bethany is now incredibly grateful that Chaya had her own Bethany moment, because Chaya is perhaps the only person in the entire country who can actually make herself look dumber than Bethany when trying to define woke. But that's not surprising, considering that this is the same person who gave us this banger when she was asked why trans people are bad.
It's a lie.
And what harm is it causing, do you believe?
I like the truth. I like truth.
Right, but I'm...
This lady asked her, what harm is it causing? Do you believe? And then she says, I like the truth. I like the truth. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, you weirdo?
Tell you what, man, Hank gets all prettied up and then old combing his hair on off to the side, man, and going act like this, like, get my good side, man, you're dang old pretty shit.
Yo, these people don't know what they're talking about. It makes no sense.
Banger when she was asked why trans people are bad.
It's a lie.
And what harm is it causing, do you believe?
I like the truth. I like truth.
Oh, she says, what harm is it causing? Ruby, is the truth is harming her feelings. Yeah, she says, what harm is it causing? And she's like, I like the truth. I like the truth. It's like, that's the harm, the truth? She makes no sense.
Right, but I'm saying what's the harm of people expressing their gender identity differently than you believe it to be? What harm are they causing?
Like I said, we are a nation of truth, and I seek the truth.
We are a nation of truth, and I seek the truth. Brilliant. What an intellectual powerhouse Chaya Raichik is. Now, I'm sure that you will be unsurprised to learn that her inability to define woke wasn't the only embarrassing moment from that event. So we're going to watch some more clips because they are gold. But first, I want to give you a little bit more context about this particular event. LGBTQ Nation reports Raichik gave a speech yesterday at the Indiana Memorial Union at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana, alongside Representative Jim Banks. During her speech, she ranted about pornographic books in schools and moved on to her hatred of everything woke, which is when she was laughed at, by the way. They continue, 2 protesters who were chanting were taken away in handcuffs, according to the Bloomingtonian. Authorities haven't said whether they'll face charges. The paper reported that about 24 people, mostly men, were in the front rows for Raichik's speech, while those who disagreed with her were towards the back. From a video posted to YouTube, the men in the front appeared to be much older than the average IU student, while the people towards the back appeared to be much younger. Interesting, isn't it? Now, the photos from the event that you saw were taken by Jeremy Hogan and published in the Bloomingtonian, and even though 2 protesters were removed, there were still people there with signs that were obviously heckling her. But here's one of the photos, courtesy of Jeremy Hogan, where somebody was holding up this sign.
TikTok has blood on her hands. Also, Chaya is a stupid name. It means spinach. tree. I'm calling you spinach tree from now on. Does Chaya really mean spinach tree? Chaya? Ah! What is this? Chaya? Quinodosculos aconitifolios. Chaya Raichik, bro. Is this a spinach tree? Oh shit, Chaya, spinach tree, dude. Bro, she's a spinach tree. That's great.
And that Red
That's
Libs of
funny as
TikTok has
fuck.
blood on her hands. And she adds, also, Chaya is a stupid name. It means spinach tree. I'm calling you spinach tree from now on. Now, Jim Banks is running for the Senate, so I guess he thinks that Chaya is going to help his campaign. But he ended up stepping in to try to rescue her after she got laughed at for failing to define woke. Now, as
When your name is spinach tree. This is what happens when your name is spinach tree. You gotta listen to this calm and nice music. Oh god.
Bryce Green, the person who shared these videos,
Poor
points out, after she couldn't define woke, she passed the question on to Jim Banks, who then tried to define it himself and bail her out. But as you're going to see, it doesn't go very well for him either.
The destruction of normalcy and
Rubia says she needs the vibes. 3 skulls. Yeah, for real. This lady sold her soul for nothing. Like, does she make a lot of money at least from selling out to the right wing? Like, what is she doing? Like, she seems just lost in life. She seems just dumb and lost. And she also might be like she might like trans people or queer people or whatever she hates. Like, she might just be like projecting, like a lot of these right wingers do. Rubia says she need. Oh wait, I read that already. I'm sorry. I was about to read. She needs the vibes twice.
and
Double combo.
how do you
So anti-Americanism.
It's getting laughed
It's
at.
a
I'm sick and tired of.
Are those separate
being
things?
taught that America isn't worth fighting and dying for. It's a great country. It's the greatest country in the history of the world. I would say that attacks on our American way of life is wokeism.
So that's broadly though. Like, Al Qaeda attacks American lives. Are they woke?
Maybe in some ways.
Are they a woke terrorist group?
So this is seeping into everywhere.
I'm sure that he thought that he was being really clever by broadly defining woke as anti-Americanism, but as you saw, he immediately got checkmated by a college student. Doesn't take much to put these folks in an intellectual chokehold because they don't know what they're talking about. It's just so ridiculous to me that the people who are screeching the loudest about woke, they can never define it. Why is this so difficult? Why can't you come up with at least an operational definition so that way we know at least what you're talking about, even if it may not be what woke generally is defined as? Like, can't you give us anything? They can't because they're full of shit. But Chaya Raichik presumably continues on with her anti-wokeness screed, and then she reached the DEI.
Yeah, like, woke just means aware of inequities in society. Like, it just means to be awake in face of, like, racism, wealth inequality, sexism, whatever ism that's bad. Like, it's just to mean that you know about it. That's it. That's all that woke means. Like, they make it seem like it's like some crazy, convoluted, weird thing. And it's so simple.
Portion, and then claims that she made there also very stupid and so hyperbolic that she was laughed at once again because nobody was buying the bullshit that she was spewing.
Fighting to remove this and eradicate it from our society, eradicate it from our culture, because, like I said, it could, you could be nuts, and it's harming our children. It's harming us. It's harming everyone. You see it on college campus. When you'll go into the workforce, right? You'll see it there with all the DEI stuff. And it's basically, so there's been so many companies. I personally exposed Southwest, Mayo Clinic, Enfamil, Aldi, Planet Fitness, Intuit. There's so many companies that this DEI is embedded into their like policies, and this is how they operate. And DEI is basically just code for less white. When you go into the workforce,
DEI is code for less whites. Listen, as stupid as that sounds, she's at least trying to define the thing that she's talking about. So good job, Chaya. That's like 101 of speech giving. If you're going to talk about something and you want to inform people, then you need to define what you're talking about. But
good job, spinach tree.
You know, this is somebody who is an amateur who's just speaking out of her asshole. So, you know, if she happens to do something that might inform the audience about her own views, it's accidental purely, right? She's not actually trained to be an educator because she's a dumbass, right?
Bro, butthole tree. For real.
She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. But the problem with her fear-mongering is that it's complete bullshit. Corporations never actually followed through with their promises to make their hiring practices less racist. As CNBC reports, companies like Google and Meta pledged to adopt more inclusive hiring practices in 2020 in the aftermath of the George Floyd protests, but didn't actually follow through on that promise and ended up gutting their own DEI programs just 2 years later. And this is indicative of a broader trend. So these companies made the DEI promise to make themselves look good, never followed through on it, and now conservatives are using that non-existent program as the boogeyman, which is why Chaya Raichik was laughed at when she talked about how harmful these DEI policies have been, because everybody knows that is demonstrably untrue. But there's one more clip that Bryce shared that I want to show you because it proves how little she's thought about her own worldview. And she said something similar in her interview with Taylor Lorenz, but she apparently hasn't learned from that because she doubled down on a point that defeats her entire worldview. Let's watch.
For the rainbow bullies right here, could you define, could you give us,
what do you call
how many genders are there in Chaya, please?
there's 0 genders. There's 2 sexes.
Wait.
Amazing, isn't it? There's zero genders, according to Chaya Raichik. I don't think that she understands that that is literally the woke position, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
Perhaps
dude.
she'd know this if she knew what woke meant and
she's
was able
woke.
to define it. But I mean, she doesn't realize that that is a woke thing to say, because gender is a social construct. But the best part is that one of her fans tried to throw her a softball question in order to own the rainbow bullies, and he probably expected her to give the typical conservative answer and say, there's only 2 genders, suck it, libs. But instead, what does she do? She takes the woke approach and says there are 0 genders. Love it. And she's correct, because gender is a social construct that we all made up as human beings. Thus, we should be allowed to express ourselves however we want without the imposition of some arbitrary cultural parameters. Now, she said the same thing in her interview with Taylor Lorenz.
Well, gender is actually made up.
Exactly.
For
Yes.
example, my gender, I am a maleinoid. It's a male, but like my own type of male. So it's like cool, you know, I made it up. I'm a maleinoid, dog. Woo!
We agree on this.
Yeah, so apparently she didn't learn from her interview with Taylor. So I've got to say that the more Chaya talks, the more evident it becomes that she is her own worst enemy, right? And she plans on doing more of these events around the country. So I genuinely look forward to her getting stumped by the most basic questions imaginable, because it's not just entertaining to see her look foolish, because she is foolish, but it also sheds light on just how vapid and incoherent her worldview is, and demonstrates
This is her.
Oh, why does it lie?
That's a big game, man.
That's a big game, man.
That's a big game, man.
He says that's a big game.
That's a big game, man.
It sounds like he's saying that's a big game, man.
You icky, and that's as far as their thinking has gone on the subject. And it shows with people like Chaya Raichik.
That was fun. Okay, what else? What are we gonna end? What are we gonna end the day with?
Woke mob.
What do you want to watch, Rubius? Anything else you want to learn about?
Woke ideology.
Woke ideology.
Woke ideology.
Woke ideology.
Woke test.
Woke ideology.
Woke Olympics.
Woke ideology.
Woke
Anything you wanna
ideology.
end
Woke
the day
ideology.
on?
Woke
No need for healthcare, we're too strong to fall. Our strength and wealth, the envy of them all. Oil gold, who needs homes when we have power? We're untouchable, every hour. Yeah, march to the anthem of the tyrant's reign. Oh yeah, bow down to the power, feel the burning flame. Oh yeah, we're the force that cannot be tamed.